Hello everybody. Super good morning to everyone here. Happy Saturday to everyone. Kevin Chan here, 7:30 in the morning as usual. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about period 9, since we are in period 9 anyway, if you do not know. Right, so we have entered into period 9 in 2024. Right, so 2024 was the official full crossover to the period 9, and right now we're gonna be entering into the peak fire energy period of period 9 in the 2026. So which means that after 2026 everything will be unleashed. Right, that's basically the situation. Right, so good morning. First, I can see Pui is around, Jocelyn is around, Peter Sia, Manuel is around, Sabrina is around, Chang just popped in. How are you guys all doing? Right, so on the news front, if you have seen Taiwan, Taipei, right, there's a kind of a crazy fella, 27 years old chap, lobbing gas canister all over the places. Seems like he have stabbed 3 fellas. Somebody who's running away from military service. Yeah, I know. If you are worried that the world is getting crazy, next year you will see even more of this particular crazy stuff, and hence, you know, we come back to the today's topic of upgrading the firmware for period 9, right? So because the functionality in period 9 is going to be very different in the functionality of period 8. So a lot of people's problem is that they try to use period 8 method to handle period 9's situation, so that causes the things to break. It causes the thing to not work anymore. So for those of you who are in the IT line or are familiar with software, so you will start to know that there is actually 2 components in a software. One is what we call the operating system, or you know, one called firmware also can. Firmware is actually 1 layer lower than the operating system. Then there is the application, right? So the operating system is what translate all your applications language into an understandable language for your chipset. Your chipset doesn't talk your, you know, normal programming language, so it's the iOS that basically does the input-output translation, right? So right now, when the change period is the input-output translation, which is the firmware that is actually being changed. So if you're still using the old software, it wouldn't work, lor, right? Simple enough, right? Hello, Winnie. Hello, Golden Hue Baby Haze. Such a long name, right? So that's basically what happens. So we need to update our understanding of firmware, or how we basically work into the period 9 version. So which means that all your software need to be reinstalled. Okay, need to be reinstalled into the newer version, right? So today we're going to cover that particular small topic. Come, let me shrink myself down to the smaller version. Right, so as usual, you know, getting in touch with me, Telegram is one of the best way to do so. From time to time, you know, I will throw something into for you to download. Like the other day, you know, I just throw in the animal. Yes, the animal sign with the element itself. You know, which element got how many animal signs that's relevant to it. You know, throw that one in. If you want to download, you know, please go to the Telegram channel to download. Then there, of course, is the newsletter. These are for old school people who want to read. You like to do reading. Yeah, I know it's something that's rare. Hey, by the way, Substack, you can actually click the mic button and it will read to you. Yes. Right, the Substack actually got an auto read button, right? So, and there is also a Chinese metaphysics community. You know, if you are new to this, you want to just chit chat with other Chinese metaphysics practitioners, you can go to the community channel, which is a Facebook page. All right, so come, let's take a look at, you know, how things is, right? So today we primarily will be using the structure. You can use the structure as a reference, but this is not hard reference. Right, you can use the structure of the reference. So structure is basically your natural elemental tendency. That's it, right? So everybody have a natural elemental tendency, which means that they are naturally gravitated toward that particular direction. So they show a lot of characteristics which belong to that group. That is all it's saying. It's not saying anything other than that, right? So when you show a lot of characteristics onto that particular group, if you understand that particular group and you know how to find a place whereby that particular group is being valued, easier for you to do things. If you hard-headed, you want to go the other direction and go to a place whereby nobody value this sort of characteristic, then you know you are just asking for trouble. That's all anyone. Life is very simple. Right, so life is very simple, so you know you can go and take a look at that. So of course you can also apply it to different pillar. If let's say that you are somebody who's more advanced, you can advise it, you can put it into a different pillar. You can also use an interaction to read this, right? So don't want to get too complicated, just read your highest gravitation, right? So you just read your highest gravitation, you know, that will give you a rough idea on which direction that you are going. All right, so though you can do that. So now let's take a look at it, right? So period 7, right? So we're gonna go back a bit. Period 7 is a period of what we call auditory advancement, right? So everything in period 7 is basically auditory driven, right? So if you do not know, right, so you think back, period 7 is where all the great singer actually come out. Right, so your Michael Jackson, your Michael's Learns to Rock, you know, for those of us who are in Asia, then you know that there is this 4 heavenly king of Canton pop, Jackie Cheung, right? So your Andy Lau, your Leon Lai, your Aaron Kwok, which up until today their song is still being played. Yeah, right. So if you go and check the Spotify, what we call Canton Spotify most played list, right? So half of it is 15 years ago my song. Right? 15, 20 years ago song, right? So that's period 7, right? So that's basically period 7. If you want to go back again, period 6. Period 6 is where heavy machinery industrialization basically rule, right? So period 6 is basically big metal. Right, so you know, then period 7 is basically the auditory side of it, right? So which means that if let's say you're in period 7 and you are in the auditory line, means that you're doing anything that has to do with the auditory development, all this kind of stuff, right? So if you happen to be a singer, right, so it's kind of easy for you, right? The path become easier for you. So which means that every single period there is a group behavior. Right, so if you set yourself to the group behavior, you know, then it's easier. Then you go to period 8. Period 8 is the earth period, right? So period 8 is earth period. So earth period, you can see that this is where all the property tycoon show up, right? Your Lei Ka Sing, right? So your Lei Ka Sing, you know, all those kind of tycoon that has to do with property related matter basically start showing up. So period 8 has period 8 type of behavior. Right, so if you are using period 8 type of behavior, you know, then it's easy. So most of us has been pretty much pampered or pretty much used to the period 8 method of doing things. Right, so right now when you switch to period 9, which is what we call a visual driven world, right? So it's going to be very, very visualized type of world. So you still use the period 8 method to do things. So that's why you find that all the thing that you are doing does not work, and that create frustration in people. Why it doesn't work anymore? Why the thing that I'm doing is not working? Because the entire underlying firmware changed already. You are still using your old application trying to connect to the new firmware. So of course the connection doesn't work, you don't get the result. See, right? The black box that does the translation right now is working on a different code already. You are still using the old input and expecting an output. So that's why you don't see the correct output coming up. Right? So period 8 was all the hard work pays off. Yes, correct. Period 8 is all the, you know, patience, you know, you work on yourself, you know, you'll be discovered, you know, all those kind of things. Slow and steady win the race. Right? Right now, if you slow and steady, the stadium spectator also go home already, okay? No more slow and steady win the race, it doesn't really work. So today's topic, we are talking about some of the essential firmware update that you need to do, right? So essential firmware update is to do, and it is going to be very it is not counter period 8, it's just telling you that your period 8 method not gonna work that well, right? So that's all, right? It's not gonna work that well, right? So if you still insist on, because you know, I understand a lot of people require a lot of time. I don't know lah, maybe you need 10 years for you to start to realize. That's up to you, right? So some people maybe 2 years, you know. A lot of people that is a bit more period 9 aware, right? So they would have already started the entire changing process long ago, right? Some charts are really good at slow and steady, but bad at fast and furious. So how? You ask yourself, lor. You need to ask yourself, the world is going at that particular thing, is you more important or the world more important? Understand the world don't care about you. Please do not have any of those, thinking that, you are very special type of thinking. There's a lot of people who's like that. Right, so they think that oh no, as long as me whatever it is, it's great, so it doesn't work that way. The world will go the direction that the world need to go, right? So it's like what we call going onto the sea, and wave come, and then you say that, oh, my skill cannot handle this particular wave. Then you're expecting the wave to change its form so that it matches your skill. You wait to get whacked by the wave. Right, so whether you want to change or you don't want to change is basically really a choice that is up to you, right? So but I tell you, eventually you will change. That's how the world works. All right, yeah, right. So come, let's take a look at some of the salient point of going into period 9. So period 9, you guys know this particular period is basically a fire period. Okay, basically a fire period. So when you are doing analysis that time, then fire become the base. So it's the interaction between another element with the fire element that we are doing, right? So then you start to know that, okay, so this is fire is the base. When I see another element, what basically happens. So it is a analysis of 10 God, but from the fire point of view, right? It's 10 God analysis from a fire point of view, right? So you can put it in a way, let's put it as the day master is a fire. Doesn't matter ping or ting fire at this current moment, right? No matter what earth, don't move slow, right? Handling fast pace is a huge challenge. It become normal. It become normal. Like for example, one of the biggest thing I tell people is that is it because that there are more violent happening around the world? Actually, the answer is no. Violence has been happening around the world all the time. Okay, the difference is that the speed of the news coming to you is damn fast. No, last time when anything happened, right, is you need a reporter to go and take, then reporter write, reporter submit to the editor does the editing, then they will do a council meeting to judge whether this particular news should they print on the thing or not, should they release or not. Right now, no, everything is raw. Everybody who has a handphone, come out. Nobody ever care about news channel already, right? Everybody is basically a walking news channel, right? Makes sense, right? So if you have a handphone, right, all the information just come to you raw. You get the information at a raw state, right? So you see somebody lobbing stuff straight away, is film already. Straight away come out to the internet. It goes to your face. It's like pia, just like that. Right, so if so, either ping or ting, then what does it mean? Sin or day master, huh? John, then you go and do your own translation only, very easy only. Come, let's go in there and take a look. So number one, right? So output, when we talk about portfolio, right? So now output, basically, what is the output of fire? Output of fire basically is earth, right? So output of fire basically earth. So in the olden day, the advice was, hone your skill set. Right, in the olden days, basically asking you to be a specialist, right? So earth, right, the output of the earth, right, if you take a look, the earth output of the earth is basically metal, right? Output of metal. So metal are specialists, refined, right? So right now, fire, the output of fire is basically earth, right? So earth basically is a storage component, right? So which means that if your chart output is very high one, you need to concentrate on portfolio. Portfolio means that you right now cannot be a single skill expert. If you are a single skill expert, sure die. Because why single skill expert? Very difficult for you to switch. Right, you will see that in period 9, right, everything just go really fast. You have no time to go and do what we call skill set refinement. You need to be ready to go, right? So that's why you need to have a portfolio of skill set. So which means that you cannot be just good at one thing. You need to be at the same time competent at multiple things. You don't need to be super good, but you need to know how to use it. You don't need to know how to use it in a very deep manner. So the very specialized way of doing things is in the period 8, right? So in period 8, you know, always the advice is, you know, you keep your head down, you hone your skill set, right? So you improve on, you know, what basically the thing that you are doing. One day somebody will discover you, right? So in period 9, if you still do the same thing, very fast people will forget about you. So if you want to be forgotten, right, go and, you know, hone on one specific skill set, right? So if not, then the new way of thinking is that I need to have a portfolio of skill set to present to people. So which means that I cannot be an engineer just because I am a mechanical engineer. I need to be a mechanical engineer that has project management skill set. I need to have a mechanical engineer that knows how to do presentation skill set. I need to be a mechanical engineer that has leadership quality, that can lead a particular team to do things. That is basically what we call portfolio skill set, right? So you need to know the core system and then start to expand outward and see that for this core system to work, what are the side components that need to come together with the core system. And I need to also know this. You do not need to be the best and the good, but you need to know that create that particular portfolio. So have to launch different social media handles for every different field you are involved. No need, just put everything into one. Right? Put everything into one. You need to be able to show people that you are somewhere multi-talented. Multi-talented is, I think the specific thing is called that you need to tell people that you're more human, right? So you make you more human, right? So a good time to be like famous Renaissance people, right? Can be a scientist, mathematician. Yeah. No, so it's basically like that. Scientist, mathematician, physician, graphic designer. The fella seems to just know stuff, right? You seem to just know stuff, you know. So which means that anything get thrown to you, right? You don't get surprised. You don't have the, oh, this is not something that I know. No, anything that throw to you, your first thing is that how can I acquire enough skill set to handle this thing? That should be the normal thingy, normal way of thinking already. So no more waiting for things to happen. You need to pursue things. You need to go and chase after stuff. So if your chart, if you see that your EG is very high, one EG or hurting officer doesn't matter, right? Make sure that you have a portfolio, right? Like for example, you know, EG and HO, we are talking about influencer, right? So now if you are an influencer, then you know you need video taking skill. You need video editing skill. All those are skill set that you basically need. And right now with the involvement of AI and also multiple different free software that is around to do, you know, it's not difficult to do. Right? You also need to have, you know, script writing skill. You also need to have, you know, of course, you know, your own personal acting skill. Like all these skill set you need to have, but it need to revolve around one singular main skill set. You do have a core skill set, right? But then you need to have supplementary skill set that goes around, right? Cannot be last time is that, oh no, I'm an actor, then I'm an actor, you know, so I am a video editor, then I am a video editor. You only do video editing, you don't do the rest of the thing, right? So, oh no, this one is got nothing to do with me, I'm just a video editor. Doesn't work that way, right? So it doesn't work that way. That particular level of specialization will only kills you, right? So you need to be broad enough to bring in a portfolio for people. So which means that people are looking for people who can handle multiple roles at the same time. So what happens is that you need to be able to know how to switch your role. So as in maybe today this is important, so you know move on that particular side. Right, so I have a faceless YouTube channel using my voice, but it started to have less viewer compared to AI voice YouTube channel. Right, you got less is because AI YouTube channel can generate more. Then right, so you need to know it's a very different world right now. Last time is that a lot of viewer chasing very little content. That is period 8. a lot of viewer, you got more viewer than content. So right now you got more content than viewer. It's not the quality of your content basically is reducing. What happened is that the volume of content has increased, that it causes the dilution of the viewer. Okay, which means that there are more product than money. So price drop. Right? So those are very basic economic. You know, maybe one day I'll do a topic to talk about this money and product relationship. You will start to understand a lot about how economy work. Right? You have by the way, economy is naturally deflationary one. So if you don't know. Right, so this one, if you study economic, they will teach you. Right? So all right, so this is basically first of all, right? So now, to me, it actually doesn't matter whether your chart eating got high or not high, hurting officer high or not high. Are you, an output tendency person or not? I'm just telling you, if your output tendency doing this is easier, it's easier for you. But everybody need to upgrade into this particular mode of having a portfolio of work. Do not ever tell yourself that I'm specialized in this. This is the only thing I can do. If you tell yourself that, sure die. Become a T-shaped professional, specialize in one or two, then no little. But yes, correct. Sexy product, you're right. Right. So you have one sort of like core strength. Then you start to build the supplementary strengths around it, right? So yeah, that is what basically you're supposed to do. So there is no way that you're going to be thrown something in and then you tell people that this is not part of my last time when you are at work, this is out of the scope of my expertise, I'm not able to get this one. And that one is a period 8 answer. Period 9 answer is at this current moment, this one I don't know yet. I'll go and find out and I'll come back to you. Ta-da! Very different, right? So if you want to thrive in this particular period 9, then you need to. If your entire idea is that you don't want to thrive in period 9, then no need. Okay, right. So next one we're gonna take a look at basically the wealth structure. The wealth structure, the key, right? So speaking skill, core strength. So teach, network, coach. Yeah, correct. Those are basically side skill set, right? So right. So for the particular people who are in the wealth very heavy one, right? The keyword here is being useful, right? So because why period 9 so now you see this one wealth to the fire is basically metal. Well, wealth to the fire is basically metal, right? So if you take a look at the wealth to the earth is basically water, right? So you see earth, sea, water versus fire, sea, metal is very different. Earth, sea, water is called control, right? So period 8 is all about controlling, right? Period 8 is about controlling the environment, controlling things. So a lot of things is basically about restriction, right? So it's about restriction, it's about control, right? So it's about do things. So period and also earth know how to cover or bury stuff, right? So but fire different. Fire exposes stuff. So the old way of I hide first before I can slowly go and learn up this thing and do, right? So I can slowly, so which means that I can pretend, right? Period 8 allow you to pretend, by hiding under the ground, right? So period 9 don't give you the luxury to pretend, right? So period 9 is either you know or you do not know. There is no in between. Because why? Period 9 is very exposing. Record speed. People will be able to see whether you are competent or cannot. Can you take? Can you not take? People can really see. Now, when we talk about can you take, can you not take, it is not the entire idea of you be able to complete this or not. It's to basically see that whether you are really moving towards that direction or you just standing still, hoping for the best to happen. A lot of people has this in period 8, right? So standing still, hoping for the best to happen, actually work one, right? In period 8, waiting for everybody to die actually works. So, but in period 9, it doesn't, because whatever action that you take is being seen. So this is like really transforming the metal. Whether the metal is changing into the shape that you need is very clear to the person who is actually handling the metal. So you need to prove your worth, prove for your usage, and it's gonna be very, very fast. So I've been telling people, right, in especially next year, you will see the increased amount of scamming, right? Yeah, you can see increased amount of scamming, right? So it is not because there are more people scamming people. It's all this while all this scamming is around, but the speed of a person identifying scamming and bring the scamming up is gonna be record fast. So that's why you see that, oh, more and more scamming happening. No, it's not more and more scam. All this while all this scamming is happening, but period 8 allow you the luxury of hiding things, right? Because why period 8 value stability. When you value stability, your entire portfolio is let's not rock the boat, right? So let's, you know, handle this in a more discreet manner. This is how period 8 handle things. More discreet, you know, more background, you know, all this kind of thing. But period 9, no, right? Period 9, straight away the spotlight pang on it, right? So everybody see what is basically happening. Right? You are completely exposed, right? So those are what we call fake it until you make it. Again, those are period 8 tactical move for period 8, right? So show certain things first, you know, while I work on it on the background. That's basically what fake it and make it and fake it until you make it is. I show you a fake picture first, you know, then I work on it on the background. It's nothing wrong on basically, right? But in period 9 cannot. In period 9, you know, you bring this one, show, everybody will see you bringing this up and show. Right, so everybody will be able to know that, you know, you are basically faking it. So when we talk about being useful, is that you need to be useful for that particular moment when you are out there, which means that, you know, if you can do this kind of thing, you come and offer your help. If you cannot do, please scram away. Don't try to occupy the particular space when you do not have anything to contribute. So you definitely have something that you can contribute, right? So you have certain skill set, you go to that particular skill set and you contribute at that particular place. You don't go and kacau other people. Right? You don't go and kacau other people, right? So in period 9 itself, being able to show value, right? So being able to show value straight on to the racing track, it's not, you know, oh no, while I wait for you to accumulate your skill set. No such thing, right? So, you know, you need to be basically on par there, right? So for that particular thing, so if you are not at that particular level, if you're at 50%, you need to go in and tell people that I'm at 50%, and I will deliver you the other 50% in, let's say, you know, 3 weeks time. That is called transparent, right? So we need to know that you are basically a useful person. You need to be very utility based. So it's like metal. So metal, you know, right, when they transform into a certain tool, let's say that, you know, when transform into a spoon, then you are a spoon, right? You cannot transform to a spoon and then tell people that, you know, you give me, you know, some time, you know, right now I'm a spoon, I'm pretending to be a spoon right now. Later I'll be a fork. Maybe down the road I'll be a spoon fork. That doesn't work anymore. It worked in period 8 lah. In period 8, no, period 8 allow you to have that particular way, right? So you can shape the water over time. Okay, that's basically what period 8 offer you, the ability to shape water over time. But period 9, no, right? Period 9 doesn't have this, right? So you better lock your value. Right? You need to be very, very understanding of what value you bring to the table. Right, those period 8 thingy empty promises, right? So like recently, you know, there was you know, a Malaysia group like DC, right? They have this song called Hot Tubbing, right? Hot tubbing is a very period 8 thing. It's making promises to you, you know, oh no, my company 3 years later, you know, when it goes on the what we call IPO, right? So then you'll be able to get a lot of bonus. That one period 8 type of promises. Period 9, you do this sort of promises, not gonna work, right? Period 9, the people want to see the result, right? You give me, if right now the company is at this particular level, you give me the result of this particular level. I'm not gonna wait for, you know, 3 years down the road, right? So 3 years down the road, you wait on your own self, right? I want to get back whatever that I have contributed in, right? So also same thing to the youngster. If you're not contributing anything in, don't ask for anything. That is how transparent usefulness is in period 9. Brutal, very brutal, right? Very brutal. So that's why it has a bit of a worried for the ultra young, right? So sorry to say that the ultra young really doesn't really bring much to the table. Right, probably gonna get killed. Right, so let's take a look at influence star, right? Influence star, we are talking about how adaptive you are. The force that is going to be attacking you, right? So the force going to be attacking. So for in terms of fire is the water, right? So water is basically the energy going to attack you, and if it's for earth, the energy that attacking you is called wood. So now you can now see the velocity of water attacking fire versus the velocity of wood attacking earth. So now you can see that period 8 allow you the what we call the ability to do things in a bit more slower, right? So the response that is required in period 8 is much more slower. So that's why in period 8, slow steady win the race, right? So in period 9 is basically about how adaptive switching you are. So now you start to understand why the portfolio is important. So if you are a single line, if you are a single skill set person, when the situation switch, you die, right? When the situation switch. So when the situation switch, right, you straight away people see you from being useful to useless instant. So if you are not adaptive, so for you to be adaptive, you need to have portfolio. So when the core competency become not too useful, you need to switch over to the side competency and start to build up the side competency in a very fast manner. At the same time, the core competency become your side competency. Then you start to build a new layers of things. So you're gonna say that, oh, like that very tiring. Yes, it's very tiring. Right? One thing that you can be sure of period 9 is that you're gonna become very tired. Right? So period 9 is basically fire period, right? Fire period, one thing is that very difficult for people to sleep. Sleeping is going to be a luxury for you guys, right? Yes, that seems like a very demanding period. Very demanding, very fast. Very demanding, very fast period. So you can really take a look at this like the what we call the movie entertainment industry, right? Movie entertainment industry. Like movie entertainment industry, you cannot go in there and say that I'm always I can only play villain role. I can only play mother role. Cannot. You need to be versatile enough to play many different roles. Not only many different roles, you need to be able to be adaptive enough. Maybe you need to do a bit of a screenwriting. You need to do a little bit of being able to find things. A lot of bit of things that you need to do. And when we talk about being useful, is that when the camera roll, right? You cannot learn how to cry only when camera rolling. On the moment the camera roll, your tears need to come down. So that is basically one of the requirement in Taiwan's audition, right? So if you go Taiwan audition, 3-second tear must drop. 3秒掉泪. Right? So if you want to be a Taiwan actor, you need to have that skill set. That is the usefulness part of it. So adaptiveness part is that you may be thrown different script at different time. Your script may change. All right, this one, if you watch enough of the Hong Kong movie scene, during last time the Hong Kong movie scene, right? You know that the script was actually written maybe 5 minutes before the show is recorded. Go and watch, do and watch all those interview, so all the great what we call director, right? So some of them is like this, they receive the phone call, they tell them that, hey, this is gonna be the title of the show. They only got title, and this is the two fellows who's going to be in the show, right? So the two actor and actresses. That's it, no script one. And based on the title, you need to create like 12, 24 episodes out of it, right? So yes, very adaptable, right? So very fast and adaptable. So this is basically water, right? So you need a very, very high adaptability to change track. So you will see that fire basically change track really fast. So really so it's like really handling a fire situation, the direction of the fire will just change, right? So when the direction of the fire change, you have to change. Simple enough. Okay, right? So there is no negotiation. No, wait, slow, you know. Period 8, you can wait because the attacking opponent is a tree. That fella takes his own sweet time to attack you. Okay. Right, but the water doesn't take its own sweet time to attack you. The fella come, mean it come. You better know how to run, okay? Right, so your ability to switch need to be really fast, right? So you can say that, you know, again, this is going to be very tiring, it seems to be very stressful. Answer is yes. But if you are adaptive enough, it is actually pretty easy. So this one in Buddhism is actually your ability to let go. Right, if you are studying Buddhism, then this is basically the ability to let go, right? So which means that if you are doing this today and this becomes something that is not of value anymore, you need to be able to let go and start picking up the other thing which is of value. So you need to be able to know which one is of value, and it's going to be very fast for you to see it, right? So like for example, right now, you know, we have the AI craze. Yeah, you're gonna switch very fast. It's going to be switching, right? So no, then, you know, you just switch to the next one. Let's go switch to the next one, right? So that's why I also tell people that, you know, in the period 9, right, so especially next year, you will see that the stock market become very vibrant, super vibrant, right? So a lot of people will go in, many people will become greedy of the situation, you know, because there's just too many incidents of stupid people just throw in money, then make money, right? So they also doesn't know where the money come from. They don't know what is basically happening, right? So then everybody become hyped up. Then everybody become over-invested. Over-invested means that you start to borrow to go into the market. Now, once you start to borrow to go into the market tank. You will see people, you know, jumping from building. Right, so go and watch that show called Tai Si Doi. I've been promoting that show. But anyway, right, so no, resource, right? So resource, fire, resource is basically wood. Right, so the what we call the earth, the resource is basically fire itself, right? So now the resource for fire, for a lot of other element, the resource basically make the element usually more useful, but fire on the other hand actually make the earth less useful. The earth become rigid. So somebody with a lot of resources in a period 8 become very rigid, or aka called lazy. But whereas this is different, right? So the wood, right? So the wood now. So when you talk about wood, it's basically, you know, something that grow abundance around there. So this is basically talking about alliance, right? So the why alliance is important. So now you understand that, you know, you need to have a portfolio. So now when I have a portfolio of things, right, I can't master everything. I can know a little bit about it, but I can always find an expert on the area that I'm not mastering. I can always find an expert. This is where alliance come from. And because the switching become very fast, you need to be very adaptive. So it's also impossible for you to be today, to know this skill set, tomorrow you go and do that. And going to acquire the skill set, again, is too slow. So the fastest way of doing things is basically to form alliance with a portfolio of people. Now I know a group of people together, right? So when there is anything at all, then I know who to pull in. And I know who to throw out. That is basically what it's basically doing, right? So pump and dump, yes. Right, so there's going to be a lot of those pump and down, right? So if you don't know, you know, I think it's a Malaysia stock, you know, don't know, it's Facebook scene, you know, Kai Po Chica, the one that sell chicken hot pot one. Apparently, it went to the US to, you know, list. And it did very well. And then, you know, the owner sold a lot of his share, and then it plummeted back down. Shit. Yeah, right. So if Buzzer chart is earth heavy, they have a lot of preconceived belief that need to let go also. Yeah, I know earth like to store stuff. Right, so the alliance side of it, right? So it's basically telling you. So now you can see that the nature of fire is like this. Wherever the resource is lining up, it will burn that particular direction. Right? Yeah, that's how basically it is, ma. That's how basically fire will chase after the fuel one, right? So which means that, you know, if you want your fire to burn spread in a more brilliant manner, to continue to spread, then you need to continuously make alliance with people. At the same time also, I'm telling you, your alliance will also continuously change. It is also part of your portfolio of your alliances. Today, this may be the best friend. Tomorrow, that fella may be your worst enemy. Or tomorrow, this is basically your worst enemy. Then the next day, they become your best friend. This is really like a very political particular period. So the fire don't really care. It burns wherever resources is available. It burns wherever wood is available. It burns wherever there are things to burn. Right, so it's basically doing that particular thing. So which means that in period 9, it is really not about you anymore. Period 9 is not really about you anymore. It's really about who you really associate yourself with. Right. Also the same thing. I know the light of the period 9 basically shines on everybody. So you also get to see who you are associated with. So again, period 8, you can hide your associate. Earth is able to do hiding. You can put your associate in a cave. People doesn't know. In period 9, whoever you go near, they know. Right? So your stand when it comes to certain issue, when it comes to certain things happening, right? You need to be really quick. So the change of your alliance, whether you're gonna alliance with this fella, not gonna align with this fella, you need to be very, very clear with that. Right, so start to check your handphone already right now. Right, why are you with this particular fella? And at the same time also, to go on with the usefulness part of thing, is that why is this particular person in your network? What does this particular person bring in? Last time is you are able to again keep the network around and wait for it to slowly develop. That's basically handling fire. So you can see that fire doesn't straight away become strong, right? So it needs a bit of a time to burn for it to become strong. Correct or not? Right? So that's why you can keep fire, cover fire, mean that your mountain basically cover the fire, so let the fire has some time to burn, then it become bigger before you show the fire to other people. Right, so right now, when you are talking about this, no, right? So wood is something that is basically already abundant. You burn them as they, you don't go and burn small tree lah. Just basically say you don't burn small tree, you burn big tree, ma. Alright, right? So you need to go and find alliance that is ready. Right, people who are readying, you put them one side. Right, no point. So I'm learning. Right, so in a period 8, a lot of I'm learning. Period 9, no, I'm learning. Either you're ready or not ready. So if you are not a ready one, then I just put you aside. Right, you go and learn on your own time and your own period. You don't come and burden me. Okay, I'm ready to burn already. I'm not gonna. That's period 9 way of thinking. Right, so last is basically fire versus fire. Right, so it's basically running on momentum. Right, so now this is one of the biggest difference. Right, so now Earth on Earth, is basically stagnant. Earth on Earth is basically stagnant. So now fire on fire, the brilliance of the fire is basically on the momentum. So fire burns on momentum. Right, so you need to know how to go with the flow. Right, go with the flow. So and period 9, everything changes in such a rapid moment. Right, everything changes in such a rapid moment that if you catch a certain momentum, you better hold on to it. And also at the same time, right, that the momentum would change direction all of a sudden. So you need to be able to change direction, and that's where all the adaptability come in. Be able to show usefulness come in, be able to have that particular portfolio and the necessary alliance come in. So it's basically playing a little game of musical chair. Right, period 9 is like playing a little game of musical chair. Today this, tomorrow that, the next day another thing. Right, so it's going to be very exciting transformational period. Right, so again, is this going to be very tiring? Yes, it's gonna be a very tiring period. Right, so you want to be successful playing this, is you really need to be a multifaceted multi-talented actor that is ready to, you know, accept, you know, all the thing that's happening, you know, a script change, maybe tomorrow entire studio, you know, is owned by different people. Right. Like what recently is who got sold, you know, studio, is it Disney? Is it Disney got sold? I forgot which one already, you know, they was buying each other. Yeah, job scopes change every year. Probably not every year. Probably every 3 months you get a job scope change, right? Right, you and my sister both GS, right? Always problem. No lah, that's not problem lah. Okay, it is basically not really a problem lah. Right? So don't see everything as a problem. Yeah, and you see, the one of the best thing about period 9 is that, you know, it is one of the period whereby, you know, you're gonna be forgiven the fastest. Mistakes are actually forgiven like lightning fast, because why? It become not relevant anymore. Not like period 8, no, period 8 they remember you until the day you die. You make mistake in period 8, they remember you forever. In period 9, ever forgiving. Right? These 3 months, you know, you're in trouble. The next 3 months, no one cares about you. So which means that you get a chance to restart very often. So that's why period 9 is going to be a very entrepreneurial period. Very forgiving, very entrepreneurial period. Right? So now, by the way, our civilization began when we discover fire. You know that, right? Human civilization basically began when we discovered fire. Right? So this is where, you know, again, you know, when we talk about civilization, means that advancement in technology. The biggest advancement in human technology is the discovery of fire. If you didn't know, okay, right? So right now it's basically a fire period, you know, so which means that there is going to be a new discovery on, you know, the way that things is going to work. So your old way of, you know, this is safe, you know, this is the way they should go, you know, this is the status quo, you know, you need to be humble, you need to be all those, sorry to say, all those are basically, you know, rubbish right now in period 9. Right, period 9 is really, you know, chong wrong already, change direction, chong there's no right and wrong already. Every single direction is basically a correct direction for you to burn, right? So you're just following the wind. So that's why momentum is very, very important. Right, so your ability to straight away jump into the thing, right? So like for example, right now is the AI bandwagon. Just jump onto the bandwagon. No right, no wrong. Right, no right, no wrong, you know, just jump onto the bandwagon itself, right? So now they're saying, oh, but you know, like this, I want to be safe and forgotten, right? So, you know, you're ready to get forgotten, then safe, you know, go ahead and, you know, travel the safe route, right? So you will see that those people who take chances, you know, go really fast, one is gonna be in a higher position than you. Did that mean that they don't make mistake? They make a lot of mistake. Right, so they make a lot of mistakes, but in the end, it's the result that basically is showing up. So people would only see the end result. All the failure, you know, no one cares, right? So no one cares about failures that you have, right? So it's a very forgiving period, super forgiving. So do we need to apply all 5 outline here? Again, the premise is like this, you know, if that is your natural tendency, I would say that start by make sure that you can do that first, then later work on the rest. All can be worked on, all can be worked on, right? So of course there's going to be one whereby, you know, probably maybe, you know, that's the least, you know, that's the one that you would be least driven to do. That will be the least driven to do, right? So already tell you the first one is portfolio, right? These are all the things that you need to understand, right? So what you need to be more understanding is that what you call the ability to do all of this thing is basically all also is very, very important. People forgiving means what? Yeah, they don't care that you do wrong. Right, period 8, they care a lot, you know, they care a lot about things like what we call the being able to match this with whatever the previously you're doing. So right now no one cares about, you know, your history, no one cares about whatever you're doing. They care about where you are. If you're able to get to that particular direction, then, you know, you're the winner. That's it. They only see result. Right? So that's basically what period 9 is, very open. Right, resource and influence will be harder for me. Yes, you know, if resource and influence is something that is going to be, you know, lesser inside your chart, right? So that's going to be a bit harder for you to do. Right, so which means that, you know, if you're talking about the entire period 9 asking you to be adaptive to the situation, may be a bit difficult, and you know, forming alliance also is going to be maybe a little bit difficult. So if this is difficult, just mean that your alliance pool is smaller. That's it, right? Your alliance pool is basically smaller. That's all. You know, don't need to be headache. You know, you don't need to have 10,000 friends. So please don't think about that, right? So if you are very strong in your portfolio, then, you know, straight away take a look at your portfolio and form alliance around your portfolio first. Right, so that's basically what you want to do. So period diverse and colorful. Yeah, the best thing is that diverse, colorful mean that, you know, you can go any direction. Success will also be basically be there. So everything is basically very clear, right? Everything you can see, everything is very clear. You know, very little things can hide under the thing, right? DO7 killing 0 in your chart, not very disciplined. No. Jocelyn, DO7 killing low means that not very disciplined only. Right, so very easy lah. No, you can just do scheduling for yourself lah. Okay, right, so a lot of this you can fix using modern way of doing things. You know, if discipline is very low, then do scheduling for yourself. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Friday do this, Wednesday, Thursday, you know, whatever, do that particular. Those are called schedule, right? Do some scheduling for yourself lah. If you yourself general disciplinary is there, or you know, you can like for example this one, you know, it's like, oh no, my discipline very low, you know, then but I still want to go gym, then hire a personal trainer. The personal trainer is DO7K. Since you cannot hold yourself accountable, get somebody else to hold you accountable, no? Makes sense or not? Right, so like me, I also don't have HOEG. What I do is that I know more friends who have HOEG. Okay, steal idea from them. Right, so lucky for me, you know, right now very easy because there's such thing as YouTube. I just need to spend a lot of time looking at YouTube. Don't need to come up with the topic one, right? So go and take a YouTube, see which topic is interesting, convert that, you know, and put the Chinese metaphysics on top, counting. Done. Okay, right. So like for example, this one, you know, is very common in the English world. Super common, right? So in the English world itself, right? So it's not very difficult. It is just making it sensible for the period 9. So even without the Chinese metaphysics fire level of explanation to you, this is actually what is happening to everybody in this current era right now. Right, it's exactly what is happening in this person era right now. The only difference is that because I understand things from the Chinese metaphysics lens, so I can layer the lens in. That is the only difference. Okay, right? So you know, if you observe it on your own, you would have already seen that, you know, everything moves so fast right now. So again, very apparent is basically the rate of the news coming to you, almost immediate. You have never been on any scale of news that be so immediate. It's like last minute happened, 3 minutes later you get the raw footage, unedited raw footage come out already. Posted everywhere already. Okay, right, so that's basically how it works. All right, guys. Right, so this is my sharing, you know, for your upgrade in period 9. So how you gonna upgrade this? You know, how long do you need to basically come into the realization that the period 8 way of doing things is not gonna work? You cannot sit around, you know, you cannot wait until you are ready. You cannot wait for people to discover you, right? So period 9 very easy. If you cannot be seen, right, people cannot find you. If people cannot find you, people cannot choose you. So you need to be seen by people. So that's why social media is not an optional thing in period 9 until something else come out, right? So until something else come out, right? So which I'm sure there are something else is going to come out, because right now even search engine has become AI driven. Right, AI driven search engine is a different creature. right? So it's a completely different creature at all, because AI driven search engine, they can read more pages than human, right? Human, the problem is, you know, when you do a search, you only read the first page. So whoever have the money can buy the first few pages. But when you are talking about AI can read 500 page in one go and summarize the information to you. So buying the first places doesn't work anymore, right? So you need to go into the volume of contribution for you to basically capture AI's attention. Different ball game, right? So, you know, throwing money doesn't work anymore, right? So, all right. So that's basically for you, right? So as time goes by, you know, I will update more about the what we call the salient changes that's happening in period 9 and stuff that, you know, you all need to know, right? So again, I already tell you all period 9 scam is going to be more and more, right? So, and don't be greedy, right? So if you ever done any gambling at all, not only those casino gambling, even the one that is on your handphone that spin the wheel one, those are called gambling. Yeah, you might feel, oh, it's harmless one, you know, today I got 2 times, you know, I got 2 times the discount. That is also called gambling. That one will lead you to, slowly lead you to a lot of problems. Right? You need to be aware of that, you know, by the time you're aware, maybe too late. So yeah. Okay, cool. That's it, guys. See you all. Bye.